everybody, and welcome back. Today we are doing Interior and Movie, where we are going to be talking about a movie and creating a room based on that movie. So, we are actually going to be talking about Harry Potter. I realize I did upload the first two parts of this series already, but then I got a new mic, so we're going to do those over again. I have taken notes, and it'll be a lot less rant filled this time. So that's good because I do have a lot of rant things to say about Harry Potter. But I'm going to try to stick to the movies and the books, and we'll also go into other things. But yeah, I did already film this, so if you have already seen it, you don't have to watch it again. But I wanted to do this to kind of divvy up I know I'm going to be doing a lot of like dream tours, and I kind of wanted to just do something different for that. So we are going to be doing interior in a movie. I keep calling it interview in a movie. I'm like, no, that's wrong. Know the name of your own series, goddamn. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about the Harry Potter series. Let's get into it. So I guess it's good to start with my background in the series. I've had a lot of experiences in both my adult life and my childhood life. YA is such a weird genre. I know it gets like a bad reputation because of a lot of trashier books, but there's like really good books, and I still read the YA genre. No hate if you read the YA genre, you're valid. But let's see, I think, so my dad bought the series. Correct. My dad's name is Dude. If I do say Dude at some point, yes, that is my father. I've called him Dude since I was in about 3rd grade for some reason. Just kind of stuck. I don't know what it is. So he bought the series for himself, not really for us. I'm like, wow, thanks, dude. Yeah, and then I remember in 1st grade, I wanted to read the series, but because my sister was reading the series. She's only like a year older than me. She was in 2nd grade, I was in 1st grade, and she's like, I don't like it. It's boring. And that was a bad call on my sister. Like, this ain't cool. Why'd you say that? And so I didn't read them when I was like super, super young. But I started reading them in about middle school. I didn't go to any of the book releases, but I did start going to the like movie theater releases. Like with my friend, we all would go to the midnight releases, and we skip school the next day because when you stay up till midnight, when you're that age, it's like, ugh, now I stay up till midnight, no problem. Hey, I'm a cool adult now. Yeah, and then, let's see. In high school, I think 2011 is when the 8th movie was released. I was like a sophomore or something. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. It was just like, I don't know, at that point I feel like I have feelings on the movies and the books, but we'll go into that later. But yeah, so, and then 2016 is when The Cursed Child technically was released. I'm going to talk more about my Cursed Child opinions and feelings in the Hufflepuff review, but I remember that's the only book release I've actually gone to is The Cursed Child because my coworker was going to that. And I was going on study abroad to London that year. So I think the play released in the book released, which is just like a script for the book, that released in August. And then the play released in September. And September was when I was going on study abroad to London. So I technically could have gone to see the play if it wasn't like impossible to get into. Also, if I didn't hate the book. I just like hated the whole premise of The Cursed Child. So I was like, I'm seeing this here, but I don't think I want to actually go inside and see it. But there was a lot of other cool Harry Potter events going on when I was on study abroad. And a portion of this will be talking about my study abroad, but I was just I hear from my coworkers that it's not a bad stage adaptation. I just had problems with like the plot. So I'm just like, ugh. But that was technically my adult life, I believe. I think 2016 I was like 20, 21 or something. Yeah. Then I have a whole shelf dedicated to Harry Potter. I've stolen my family's books of Harry Potter, so I have all the like old dusty copies of the couple books, and then there's a bunch of Lego minifigures from when I worked at a toy store, and I could just take Lego minifigures. Then a lot of other figurines. I have a Niffler. There's just a whole bunch of Harry Potter, like, merch from, like, London stuff. But, yeah, the CD... Oh, yeah, I have all of the audiobooks by Jim Dale. No offense to Stephen Fry, but Jim Dale, top tier. Love Jim Dale. He's the best. Little did I know CDs were going to be obsolete in the future, so they're just kind of there for display, and then I got Audible so I could get the audiobooks. Not have to pay like $30 for the audiobooks. But yeah, I think I'm going to go briefly into talking about the movies. So, and, well, the movies and the books. So, first book, Sorcerer's Stone. That's probably, the first two movies are pretty top tier movie. Obviously, best movie is third movie because they chose a different director for that, but Christopher Columbus's versions of the movies, they are pretty good too. I like the first and the second ones a lot because there's a whole bunch of like magic and whimsy, and then definitely when book 4 comes around or movie 4, they like tone down the whimsy. I'm like, oh no, don't tone down the whimsy, guys. Come on. Doesn't have to be this way. And they just got a whole like gray dark filter, and I'm like, ugh. Okay, it's not a magical fun time anymore. Like, I get it, we're growing older, it's not a magical fun time anymore, but why did you do this? Yeah, so don't have much to say about the first book. It's good. I do have opinions on like the second book, because the second book is when Tom Riddle is bae, but we're going to talk about more about my Tom Riddle obsession is going to be in the Slytherin review, because I'm sure it sounds really bad out of context, like Slytherin, like a Lord Voldemort obsession. I'm like, no, you guys gotta hear me out at least. It might be bad. I have a trash taste in boys, it's fine, but yeah, the first two books, pretty okay. Third book and third movie, the best. 10 out of 10. Good times ahead for those. I don't know the director's name, but they had a different director, and he just did a whole job. Good job just doing the third. Me and my mom are going through the third audiobook right now. But it's been a while since I've actually like watched the third movie. Like, it's got that kind of, like, still kind of grayer aesthetic than the first two movies, but it, like, works. I don't know what it is about, like, he just made it work. I'm not a, like, film major or anything. I'm just like, wow. I don't know what you did, friend, but you made it work. Yeah, so third one's pretty good, and I like a lot of, I guess there were some I don't know, I'm trying to compare like the audiobook, the regular book, even though it's the same thing, and then the movie. And I'm trying to think of like, I guess Lupin's character is definitely different in the movie versus the book. I feel like they made a change to his character, and like in the movie, I don't know, I guess they kind of like, he's more likable in the books, I feel. That's just a little thing. And then they kind of go more into, like, the Dementors in the book, I feel like. Also, the whole Boggart scene is a lot different. I kind of like what they did in the movie, but in the books, it's just more emphasis on Neville. Neville, hey! More development for Neville. I don't know. I care about the most insignificant character, or the weirdest characters. Like, forget Harry, forget the Golden Trio. Obviously, it's all about Neville Longbottom and Lord Voldemort. So I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just love that whole like I guess it was differently structured, kind of. It had a funkier structure. Like, obviously, I think there's, like, I feel like the first two books had like a very similar structure to them. Third kind of like was the point of where it like started to switch up a bit. And then fourth book was kind of where it like switched up a lot. Like I liked the whole tournament style. I loved just kind of, I don't know, it was just kind of funky and different. I don't know how to describe it. And then I love Alistair Moody. I think that's actually something that they did better on in the movies, like his character. I don't know, he just seemed more like fun. I know it's not technically the right Moody, but he was a little bit more of a fun guy. I don't know what it is. I was just like, wow, he's so fun. I love this guy. Then the ferret singing, classic, 10 out of 10. Yeah, but the fourth book is kind of like, it's very long looking at, like, that's where the books start to get thick. I just kind of like the whole, like, tournament scenes, and you gotta see other, like, students from Beauxbaton and Durmstrang. I liked the concept of having other wizarding schools out there. I wish kind of, like, I wanted them to do that with, like, Fantastic Beasts. Like, I want to see the other schools. Like, I get Ilvermorny exists. All right, let's see. I don't know. I just kind of liked the whole concept of other wizarding schools. And in the books, at least, you gotta, like, see kind of more of that. I don't think you gotta see, like, a lot of Crumb and a lot of Floor in the movie. So it didn't make a whole lot of sense in the movie when, like, Bill and Floor are suddenly getting married. We're meeting Bill for the first time. It's like, hey, guess what? He's married Fleur Delacour. I'm like, okay, how did this develop? Except I know because I read the books. But to a moviegoer who hasn't read the books, how do you think this was supposed to develop? And that just, yeah, so I'll get into my problems with the later books later time. But 4 was just very, very good. Except they cut out Dobby. I forgot about that. They cut out Dobby. Dobby was in the 4th books. And then, like, obviously he comes back in the 7th books, but it means something more. Like, they cut out Winky also, who was another house elf who belonged to Bartycart Sr. and was actually played a big part, and it was Dobby who gave Harry the Gillyweed for the second task. So, justice for Dobby, obviously. Like, when he comes back in the 7th movie, it's like, oh yay, he's back! But he doesn't play as significant as a role. You still feel sad when what happens to him happens. Trying to keep the spoilers at bay. Well, obviously, it's been out for a while, guys. You know what happens to Dobby. Some sad and bad things. And they're like, no, not our boy Dobby. Not our house elf Dobby. Free elf. I'm just getting sad thinking about what happens to Dobby. Okay. Back to the review. So, if I had to say, like, a book that I didn't like, it would probably be 5. 5 is kind of, I hear that's where she, like, lost her editor. I don't know if that's true or not, but 5 is kind of where I start to have problems. It's just kind of, like, long. And, of course, it's got everybody's favorite, like, Defense Against Dark Arts teacher, Umbridge. We all love Umbridge, obviously. Yeah, so I have a whole bunch of problems with, I guess, it's just mostly, like, the length. I feel like a lot of it could have been cut, and everything's all, like, it's the whole frustration of being a teen compiled into a book, and that you, like, the frustration you wanted to forget all compiled into a book, and it's terrible. I'm like, I never wanted to feel this teen angst again. Why'd you have to make me relive this, J.K. Rowling? But yeah, I don't know. I don't like 5. But I think almost done with my room, so I'm gonna save 6 and 7 for the Hufflepuff review. I'm also going to talk about Hogwarts Mystery and a couple other things. So I'm going to talk about The Room right now. Let's see. It turns out pretty well. When I think of Hogwarts, obviously, I think of a lot of, like, paintings and stuff, and unfortunately, Red hasn't given me any of the paintings in, like, a while, because he rarely ever comes out. But I was just thinking, like, warms, lots of reds, lots of star fragments, nova lights. I have the fall train set, which I think works very well. I'm like, ooh, it's Hogwarts Express. Yeah, I don't know why I have Wolfgang and Marshall up on the wall there, but hey, they're there. I needed some portraits, and those are the only villager pictures I have. And it turned out well, though. I really like trophy case, because obviously Gryffindors are winners. Spoiler, I'm a Gryffindor. But yeah, I really like it. Turned out well. Those are my headcanon for Gryffindor characters. Leave your headcanons for houses in the comments. Do you disagree? Agree? Let me know. And feel free to, if you like this video and you like this series, leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. All that good stuff. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.